Carolina's Attorney General will dismiss all charges against the three young men. Tonight, an inside look at how the case that once looked so strong fell apart so completely. It was just over a year ago that an anonymous woman's cry for help shocked a nation.
And he just hollered out to me. And I'm just so angry I didn't know who to call.
What had happened at Duke University.
I saw them all come out like a big frat house, and me and my black girlfriend are walking by, and they called us.
On one side, the best of the best, the privileged young scholar athletes of the Duke University Lacrosse Team. 46 of the 47 players were white. On the other side, a 27-year-old black woman, a mother, who worked part-time as a stripper while attending college herself on the other side of town. And her accusation wasn't just name-calling. She said she was gang raped. There seemed to be a lot of evidence to prove it. An email uncovered by the police that one lacrosse player sent early the next morning, hinting at what seemed to be the player's shocking and violent intentions. I've decided to have some strippers over, it read. However, there will be no nudity. I plan on killing the as soon as they walk in and proceeding to cut their skin off.
81 indictments, 12 of the 18 jurors sitting on the
Within 2 weeks, the story had riveted viewers across the country. It seemed everyone had an opinion, and many believed the alleged victim.
They've gotten away with a lot for a very long time. Why not go home and celebrate? Right. You don't think you're going to get in trouble?
Some of the responses from college officials fueled the fire.
Unfortunately, they're young men, and sometimes young men make bad decisions, make some bad judgments, and that's what this whole incident's about.
Just 3 weeks after the allegations surfaced, a stunning blow to the prosecutor's case. The DNA collected from the rape kit did not match any of the lacrosse players. The defense crowed.
None of the boys in that house that night are at all surprised in any way, shape, or form, because when you know you haven't done anything wrong, you don't worry about a test result.
A lot of people are asking a lot of questions, sir. Can you help us sort this out as to what happened?
But the district attorney, Mike Nightline, pressed on.
My presence here means that this case is not going away.
He arrested 3 of the lacrosse players, Reed Seligman, Colin Finnerty, and David Evans. Arrested them despite the lack of DNA evidence and despite the fact he still had not interviewed the accuser. Though it did come out that when she was 18, the accuser filed a rape claim against 3 different men for raping her when she was 14. Those charges were never brought. More and more, it seemed, it was the prosecutor's zeal for the case, not the facts, that was making news. Linda Fairstein is one of the nation's most highly regarded prosecutors.
We heard the DA vouching for his case in ways that most prosecutors don't do publicly, certainly not before the investigators have completed an investigation of the case.
You know, I no longer get to go anywhere in my community without everybody knowing who I am. Public
opinion began to turn. The prosecutor seemed to be enjoying the attention too much.
There was pressure put on me to do nothing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's not doing your job.
My name is Dave Evans, and I'm the captain of the Duke University men's lacrosse team.
Dave Evans was the first of the accused to speak out and declare his innocence.
These allegations are lies, fabricated, and they will be proven wrong.
More troubling evidence began to spill out. Defendant Reed Seligman is seen here taking money out of an ATM at the same time he was supposed to be raping the accuser. But perhaps most devastating was this woman, the dancer who had performed alongside the accuser that night at the Duke party. She said if there was a rape, she did not see it.
I never saw a rape occur. Everybody knows, I think, it's hard for me to remember who knows what, you know, because the facts are so simple to me, so elementary.
The facts, as Kim Roberts told them, were that the lacrosse players were disappointed in their striptease, that racial slurs were used, and that then they left. As she told Chris Cuomo, the accuser wanted it to appear she had been attacked.
What did she say to you that you haven't told people before?
Put marks on me. Go ahead. That's what I want. Go ahead. And it chilled me to the bone.
Mr. Nightline, you're going to accuse yourself of the case.
Despite all this, Mike Nifong wasn't backing off. He began to duck the cameras he had once sought out. By December, the prosecution was falling apart. Mike Nifong's own witness, DNA expert Brian Meehan, punched a huge hole in the case when he testified that he and the district attorney had agreed to withhold DNA evidence from the defense. Casey Johnson is a Brooklyn College professor and an ABC News consultant.
Jim Cooney, defense attorney, took over the questioning, and he asked Meehan, did you enter into an agreement with the district attorney to intentionally withhold evidence? And Meehan said yes.
Withheld. It wasn't just that none of the lacrosse players' DNA had been found in the accuser's rape kit. The DNA of 5 other men was found and not disclosed. But the prosecutor still maintained he had done nothing wrong.
There was no attempt to hide anything from the way the report was done.
I've never heard another instance, never, since my first DNA case in 1986, of a prosecutor saying to a forensic biologist, just give me the results I want to hear. Unconscionable.
Equally shocking, 9 months into the case, the DA, by his own admission, had still not interviewed the accuser. And when he did, in December, he discovered her story had changed. She was unable to say whether she had been raped at all.
This case represents the highest profile case of prosecutorial misconduct in modern American history.
Oh, I think one of the tragedies of this case is that there is no way to make these 3 young men who were accused whole again if the accusations have been false. There'll always be the asterisk that he was the defendant in the Duke Lacrosse case. That's why you don't rush to judgment in these cases.
With the case falling apart, Mike Nifong now faced charges of his own, allegations that his behavior violated the state ethics regulations. And that's why prosecutors need to be held to such a high standard. The facts are not always as they may seem at first. This prosecutor goes on trial on Friday, facing disbarment for his behavior in this case. A final note, District Attorney Mike Nifong denies all of the ethics charges. And as for the 3 defendants, one, Dave Evans, graduated from Duke last spring. The other 2 young men have declined Duke's invitation to return, at least so far. And when we come back,